And we'll start with biggest impacts today, rain, and full-on transparency, you're dry as you're waking up. We had talked about this yesterday. Your early morning commutes are going to be just fine, and really through much of today, we're just rain. So warning's not kicking in until 7 o'clock this evening. Matt's going to be talking about that changeover and exactly what that means, because there have been some thought patterns here with the ice, which he'll get into, and I think that that's something that's very significant, and then we'll get into the snow and totals and things like that. But first things first, what is completely new since you've gone to bed is that more of you are now included in the winter storm warning. So if you remember yesterday, we just had right along the lakeshore, well, now Brunswick and Medina, and we've got Mansfield in the warning, we've got Akron, Portage County, Twinsburg, our friends in Streetsboro, for that matter, over into Geauga County, Ashtabula, Trumbull, all included. But again, not until 7 o'clock, and warnings and all of the, different watches and things that are in place. It starts 7 o'clock tonight, expire between 7 and 10 a.m. on Friday. It is really warm right now. Most of you, if not all of you, are above where we should be for highs this time of the year. So we're dry, and we expect it to be, starting things off, temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We're also seeing a bit of a breeze. It's lighter inland, but closer to the lake, we're anywhere from 15 to about 25 miles an hour. And again, the impact today will be this rain beginning to move in. And it will become moderate to heavy at times this afternoon, but as we're all aware, driving on a wet road is a lot easier than a snow-covered one or an icy one for that matter. Let's expand the view, because this is a massive storm system. Maureen was just showing you those live looks out of Illinois, so quite evident that they're dealing with the snow. But as we go hour by hour and take a look on our National Design Mart forecast, for us, it's going to be this rainy weather moving in, and also a very gradual temperature drop. I don't want you to think that within an hour's time we're going from 40 degrees to 15. That's not how this is going to happen. In fact, even as we look ahead to 3 o'clock this afternoon, we're still seeing 30s to near 40. But Matt, we're also seeing that changeover line, and that's what we're watching really closely, and that's what's really going to start to cause some travel impact.
Oh boy, Holly, you're absolutely right about that. Once we turn to that snow, you'll see those Chicago-like scenes with the snow on the roadway. And again, the roads will be manageable at first. I think through the late evening hours, we're still looking okay. It's really that morning commute after we've had hours of snow and a little bit of ice that we're going to see some problems. So when does that changeover occur where you live? Well, where you're looking at is when that green changes over to either the pink or the blue. We kind of threw the precip types that we were expecting in there as well. But it'll be first in the Sandusky area, then the Cleveland area right around the 7, 8, 9 o'clock hour, Ashtabula as well around that time frame. Notice how it holds off in Mansfield and Akron, because we'll have some warmer air aloft that will likely bring a little bit of icing in there. But what's changed overnight in the modeling? Well, it looks like less of an ice storm and more of a snow producer across all of northeast Ohio. And that's some great news, because initially this storm was really putting out some decent numbers in terms of a crippling ice storm for our southern tier of counties. We're still going to have some ice, but it doesn't look to be as severe, and that's some great news. Lower precip amounts. This system has a little bit less moisture in here as it's kind of being split up into two waves. So I have lowered snowfall totals just a little bit. I don't want that to throw anyone off guard, though, because we're all going to end up with some real decent snow by the time this is all said and done. Not apocalyptic. I know we've been talking about it for over a week now, so it kind of builds up in your head that this is going to be really bad. It's going to be bad, but again, we're going to get through this, guys. This is going to be very similar to our last storm system for many of us. And there has been a slight southeastward shift in the motion of this. So it's going to come in two waves. We've got one wave of moisture. You see it, really big amount of moisture now coming in over the next 6 to 8 hours or so. Another wave will develop back out towards the west, so that will likely give us a little lull in the activity tomorrow. National Design Mart hour by our forecast, you could see that transition between the rain and snow. Temperatures also coming down. By 1 o'clock, we're in the 20s off in our northern tier counties. We fall into the 20s down towards Dover, New Philly by 5 a.m. Snow continues in waves, especially tomorrow morning for that commute, likely snow-covered roads. Here's the little break I'm talking about. You see that go by there around midday tomorrow? Might get a little break in the action, and then round two kicks in with more wet snow that will turn over towards a fluffier snow on into Friday morning. How much snow are we talking about? These are the updated numbers now. I've lowered them just a little bit, but still, these are pretty decent snowfall totals coming in. And again, this will be all the way through Friday morning at this point. The big question still remains. We'll wait for that after afternoon model run. Again, Betsy will be able to answer that. What happens down south? Do we see the heavier snow work its way south with that shift, or does it stay off towards the north? All the models kind of all over the place now. Much colder behind this system, so everything going to stay in place. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. We get cold around here Friday, Saturday. We bump out of it on Sunday, and then to start next week, another hit of cold air, but not quite as bad. Should have some quiet weather for a couple days beyond this.